Okay, guys, here is our lecture for week two. I'm going to be giving you guys a lot of information here. Basically, walking through the steps, showing a couple examples. Make sure that you stay focused and tuned in for this whole thing. A lot of it's important. So, first off, I have uh, done a portion of what you guys were doing. I essentially came in here and I grabbed four of the main clips and I synced the audio and got them ready. So we have the wide shot, we have a medium shot, we have the close up of our girl, and then we have the close up of our guy, and then the some B-roll right here of them like passing things back and forth, which happens during the film, and then him running outside and getting crushed by the kaiju foot. We're not going to necessarily use all this, but I basically went in and grabbed one shot from the majority. I didn't get the waiter or anything at the moment. I might go back and do that for future videos, but we're here. So, we're going to basically say that that I have my assemble cut done. I have all of my footage in my timeline approximately in the order that I need, which is not 100% correct, but I have all the footage that I plan to use in the timeline. Um, so now we want to move forward with actually creating our edit. So the first thing we want to do within our timeline right here is we want to name it. So mine is just named some clip name. I'm gonna call this rough edit. So all I did right there was just click on the name once. It opens up the title box. I could hit enter and boom, there's rough edit. And we look right here and there's rough edit. So I now know that my sequence is ready for a rough edit. Let's set up our sequence. So when we're setting up our sequence, we want to make sure that we have enough layers, enough tracks to accompany what we need to be doing. So one of the things that you never want to do is you never want to just sit there and butt each clip up, like cut it, butt it up, cut it, butt it up, cut it, butt it up. It's not an interesting edit at that point. You're just jumping from shot to shot to shot with um, no real fluidity, no real sense of trying to draw out more of this story. So, in doing so, what we want to do is we want to get more tracks. So right now it gives us three video tracks and three audio tracks. Right now we want to add more because we want to think into the future. So you're going to think into the future and you're going to say, you know something, I'm going to need a minimum of four tracks to be moving between shots. You may be layering stuff underneath, putting things on top, so on and so forth. So we want to make sure that we have four video tracks that we want to utilize just for our footage. All right. So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to control click and I'm going to hit add track. And lo and behold, boom, there's a fourth track. So we now have four video tracks. There's V4, V3, V2, and V1. All right. Now I want to think about a little bit more. There may be some other layers that we need, and we want to be able to work within those layers. What if we have visual effects? Well, we want to make sure that we have enough visual effects layers. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to squeeze it up here because we don't need this. We don't need to see this footage quite yet. I'll move it in a second. We're just going to expand upon this. Okay. So I have four tracks right now. So let's say I want an adjustment layer. So I'll add a layer for adjustment layers just in case I need to add an adjustment to an entire thing. That could be a color correction adjustment. It could be a bug that you're putting in that's going to be on the whole thing. I mean, there's a plethora of reasons to have an adjustment layer. So we're going to say adjustment layer. So that gives us video five, and then we're going to say we want two. Um, Motion graphics slash visual effects layers. We could say one motion graphics layer, one visual effects layer. So we'll add a track there. There's six and there's seven. So I could say motion graphics layer, visual effects layer. Okay. Now, it's likely you may need more if you're thinking, well, I want to make sure that I keep certain things organized in a certain manner. And in doing so, I'm going to need to have more layers. I'm looking at this particular video. There's probably three, maybe four layers I'm going to be jumping between for just our footage. I potentially am going to have an adjustment layer. I generally need one of those. And then I'm going to need uh, an intro title. So I'm going to probably put my intro title right there. And also I'm going to need my credits. I could put that down here on that same layer so we know that that's the layer. And then there's going to be a visual effects layer. We know at the very end right here when our gentleman goes outside, we can see right here if I play it and he shrinks down. Okay. So we want to make sure that we have that layer. Okay, so let me cruise it back up. So I have 7 layers. Okay, you may want 8, you may want 10, you may want 20. It depends on your style, but you want to make sure that you organize. Now, as we come down here, okay, I want to make sure that we have everything set up for our audio layer. So the audio layers, you want to be a little more precise about these. So with our audio layers, I know that I want a music bed layer. So let's say that's layer 1. It won't be, it'll probably be down here, but we're just going to count them from the top. So we'll need a music bed layer. We'll need multiple sound effects layers. I would dare to say you're going to want at least 3 sound effects layers. So we're going to add one more in here, add track. There we go. So now I have music bed track and 3 sound effects tracks. And then you're probably going to want to break up vocals. So if you want to make sure that you're able to work on a person's vocals when you need to work on them. Most people speak at a certain pitch or tone, and the other actor or actresses may speak in different pitches and tones, so you won't want to have them on the same layer because it makes it harder to go in and actually adjust. So we have 2 actors, so we're going to go in and we're going to add 2 more tracks, a track there and a track there. Okay, so now we are up to 6 tracks. So again, music, and then we have 2 sound effects, or excuse me, 3 sound effects, and then each actor. Okay. There may be more that you want. You may be switching between multiple music tracks. So just to be fair, we're gonna add one more music track just in case you want to switch between 2 music tracks. Okay. So there we go. Now when it comes down to it, we have 7. Now, there are absolutely more reasons to have more tracks. With this particular film, I would dare to say that you guys and myself are going to need to be somewhere between 6 and 9 tracks for your video and for your audio in order to work this out properly. Okay. So that's how you go in and you set that up. So remember, if you need to add a track, go right here to this blank space, hold the control button and click and hit add track, and it'll add a track. If you ever have too many tracks, you're like, I don't need all these tracks, you can go in and you can actually delete single tracks or multiple tracks. By the way, add track and add tracks. Tracks means that you can go in there and add multiple at one time. I find that it works a little wonky. I can actually do it faster by adding single tracks at a time or deleting single tracks at a time. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and then we cruise down here, and there we are. Okay. So now we're ready to start working on our edits. Now, because I'm on a single screen here, you guys can't see multiple. Oops, let's don't do that. There we go. Because we're on multiple tracks here, we wanna be able to see them all. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna shrink them down each one. So let's see if I can double click and it'll do it. Nope, that's gonna double them in size. I wasn't sure if it had started with expanding. So I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna shrink them down. And you're able at any time to go to these little lines right here and shrink them or grow them. Okay. And then we're gonna come to this one right here and shrink that one down. Good. So now I can see all 7 right there. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna shrink this down. I'm gonna shrink this down. And by the way, let me let you guys know, I'm freestyling this completely because I want you guys to see how it really, really works. Um, and I don't want you to be like, oh, he had this all set up. I have one thing set up to make something go a little faster, which I'll explain in just a moment. Um, but other than that, everything else is like I'm freestyling it right now. I threw the clips in here. I synced them up about an hour ago and got this ready. So. One of the things that we're going to find, again, just like last week, is um, it's going to play the audio weird on here because I'm recording and I'm and um, I'm recording a video and I'm playing a video. And I've tried like 27 different ways to try and make it work, and it just will not work. So you'll have to kind of bear with me. You guys aren't recording a video at the same time, so therefore you're not going to run into the same problem as me. Um, it is what it is. We'll work around it. You guys will get you get a very good gist of what we're going to do. All right. So we have our video tracks, we have our audio tracks. Okay. Um, so let's first start off with what we're trying to do right here. Okay, you see that I've already put a couple marks in. That's in an effort to save time. So if I come over here, my guy, the guy runs in, he sits down, they're talking for a minute, and he says, "What year is it?" Okay, right here at this one, and he says the same thing. "What year is it?" And then we come over here, and again, I believe it's right here on this red mark. He sits down, and what year is it? Okay, so it's sounding slow again. But what we'll do is I'll show you what I'm doing in my edit, and then we'll export it at the end, and I'll let you take a look at it so you can see what we've actually done. Okay, so what I did here is I came in and I used what I like to call advanced markers. I came in and I first um, marked right here. This is how, the green ones in the very beginning of each one of these. This is how I synced my audio, my video. So it's right at the click. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this extra junk. Boom, boom. And there's still extra junk on there, but it's not as much. We're just chunking it down. We're getting rid of that chunk right there that we don't need. And right here as well, I believe I'm going to double check that. Yep, because there's the click. And boom. All right. So we've gotten rid of the extra junk. Now, what I did here is I went in and I marked with colors exactly what happened. It's the same thing that happens in every single clip. So right here, he comes up. What year is it? Right here. What year is it? And right here, what year is it? The second one, I believe he says your test isn't going to amount to beans. And we can kind of hear it at slow mo. Yeah, well, it sounds so evil. So she says, I'm just trying to study. And he says, you don't understand. When the kaijus attack, your test isn't going to amount to a hill of beans. I think it's the same thing right here. Yep, she's just trying to study. So that equals out this one right here. And then same thing right here. I think if we go right into it, she sighs. You can hear in the background. I'm just trying to study. Again, I'm really sorry that it's running slow like this. It does this because again, I'm recording this video so you guys can see what I'm doing, and I'm playing footage, and it's just too much for my really good laptop. So it's kind of interesting. So anything. Anyway, we have the first one right here on each one of these clips. I've already marked. So if I was to come down here again, I could go a little further and let's see here. He says something right here. Let's see what he says. Yeah, he's going on a long dialogue. She's easier to understand it than he is right here. We don't have time for this. So he's going to go like that. Here's what I'm going to do. I line up. We don't have time for this. I'm going to press M, M. So it brings up this window. That's you press M twice. Then you have these colors to select from. I'm going to select yellow. and I'm going to say, we don't have time. Okay. So what I've done is I've said, I want my marker to be the we don't have time chunk. I want it to be yellow, and we'll hit OK. I don't think it showed up for some reason. Yeah, it didn't. Let me try that again. M. Why isn't it? Oh, it marked up there. Sorry. Hold on. We're going to delete that marker. I have to highlight my clip. Sorry, I didn't highlight it, so it put it up there. So M, we can see the marker shows up. Press M a second time, yellow. And we're going to say, we don't have time. Okay, and click OK. Boom, there's my yellow marker. We don't have time. I come down here. We can see approximately how long in between that. So if I come down here, it's going to be probably somewhere in this general vicinity. We'll press play. She's very sarcastic. Yeah, right there he says we don't have time for this. I press M. Oops, hold on. Undo. Highlight my clip. MM. We're going to click yellow. We don't have time. Hit OK. And then we'll come down here. There's that one again. I believe it's right here. If we go right there, and we'll play it again. Yep. And we go to the very beginning, highlight my clip, MM, yellow, we don't have time. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. Unfortunately, you're hearing the slow-mo version, but you can hear it. Um, it's all slow and it's deep and it says we don't have time. Okay, but we have a marked, so I can look at this and I can go, okay, here's my intro, right where the slate hits. Okay, here's the first one right here where he comes racing in. That's the wide shot. We're going to use that at the very beginning. Um, we have him come racing in right here as well, and um, we have this one right here where he starts talking and what does he say right there? I forgot. Oh, I'm just trying to study, and that's how each one of them works. So each one of these I've color coded and I've marked exactly what's gonna be said, and they're important parts. So let's get to the rough cut. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do is I have footage that I have already, uh, or audio, excuse me, that I have already downloaded. So why is it not here? I downloaded it here. Maybe I put it into my downloads folder. Where did it go? Let's take a look. I downloaded it with. I downloaded it here. Nope, didn't download it on that one. I have multiple browsers open while I do this. Go here. Didn't download it there. Where'd it go? So you can tell that I'm not faking it. I downloaded it and it's not here. Let's go back to this. Let's go to recent. Desktop, documents, applications, music. It should be in this drive. Did I put it inside the Kaiju folder? Oh, I did. Okay, good. There it is, right there and right there. So I put it inside the Kaiju folder. All right, so I'm going to grab these two and I'm going to bring them over here to Premiere Pro. Boom, there they are. We'll come back over to Premiere Pro. So what we got here is the first one. So this is our slow coffee shop beat. And so I'm going to grab that and I'm going to drag that down to track 7. And we're going to put this kind of at the very beginning. And then our second one, and this is a little more intense, we're going to have this sting in or hit right as he sits down. So if we play it real quick. Yeah, perfect. All right. So I'm going to grab that and I'm going to put that on a second track and I'm going to put it right about here. Okay, so we have these in here. Not worried about it. Now, this is the hard part because of the lag in the footage right here. Um, we're gonna have to fly by the seat of our pants, but it shouldn't be too bad. So we're gonna slide through here, and then we're gonna have her sitting here. We're gonna have the coffee shop. I like all that. So I'm noticing that he's walking through the server is walking through. So I'm gonna pull it back just a little bit. And remember, this is a rough cut. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna go there. And we're going to bring this down. So if we were to look at it, and if I drag it through, okay, good. So it's mellow. Right as he sits down right there is where I want it to sting. So let's sting it. And again, you notice I'm not zooming in here too much. I'm not trying to make this all perfect. I can zoom in a bit and we can look at it and see how long she's sitting here. Like we're talking 9 seconds. That's kind of a long time. But when we're sitting here, we're not worried that much about it. We can, in the future, we could trim this down. We could be putting graphics over the top of it, whatever it might be. So um, let's zoom back out again. Good. So we got our audio right there. We also could play with some things while she's sitting there as our server walks by. Maybe we want to cut to a later shot. So let's come over here and just like look at a shot of her. We have a shot of her just sitting there before he sits down as he looks up or she looks up right there. Maybe there's a quick second we want to cut in there. So let's see what this looks like. Yeah, let's do that. So we're gonna go cut and let's see where she looks up. She looks up right here, right there. So we don't want to worry about that. We'll come back a little ways. We'll go there and we'll cut right here. And again, I'm doing this on the fly. I have not ever edited this footage at all. This came from my students. So we'll zoom back out, select V, and we're going to drag this down. Okay. Bring our audio down here. One of the keys here is we want to keep our audio because we're later when we get to the audio mixing, we're going to be deciding which audio tracks we want to use for which parts, and because different things are recorded differently, and you want to make sure that you're using the right one. So do not delete your audio. Let it be there. So I'm gonna cruise over here. I'm gonna come down, and we're gonna put this in here in a rough vicinity. We'll play it. Okay, so we wanted to see our server walk through. So server walks through. Right as he walks through, let's have that kick in right there. Boom. Zoom in a little bit. She's sitting there looking down, writing right there. Right. Okay. He comes running in. So this right here, maybe this is a hair long, maybe it's a hair short. Again, this is our rough cut. I'm not super worried about it. Let's come over here. Let's scrub. He comes running in, and right as he grabs the chair and pulls. Now, one of the keys that we want to work on here is we want to think about edit on action. If there is an action going in the middle of a clip, you want to edit on that action. So we want to observe what's going on here. He runs in. As he runs in, the chair is moved, and then if you watch her, she looks up. So we can edit on a couple actions. We can edit as he sits down. We could edit as she looks up. Okay. And the chair's moving right there. So let's figure out what we want to do. So she comes in, or he comes in, starts to sit down, and she looks up right there. So I'm going to play with something right there. I'm going to move it back to right as she starts to look up. Okay. I'm going to place a mark up here. Okay. So right in the middle. So we're being precise, and we're going to fudge this a little bit. So I'm going to go right there. I'm going to press mark. I know that this is where I want to put it. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to slide back down to here where she's going to look up. We scrub, and she looks up. There's the chair moving. And right here, So in the middle of that. So let's go cut, and you can hear him start to talk. And this is where it's going to get interesting. I'm going to take a little bit extra of that. I'm going to cut, go back to my V, grab that piece right there, and I'm going to slide it down. And again, we're going to probably, maybe we want her audio on this track. So if that's her audio, we're not going to use this for his audio. We're going to be that, it's going to be from him. So again, let's take a look. There's my marker right there. We'll zoom in so we can see it better. So we're on the marker where she starts to look up, and we bring this in. Okay, so if we now watch, it's in slow-mo, but we'll see it. So she looks up, and we have that continuity. Her head starts to move here, and she looks up. So again, I'm not being super precise, but by looking at it right now, I would say we're a hair behind. We'd want to fudge this down a frame or two. Okay, we'll go down one more frame, and then we're going to leave it there no matter what. So again, we're not trying to be super precise. We're just trying to get everything going. So she starts to move, and there she cuts up and looks. Okay, and that's her shot. And then you're going to hear him talk. Okay, and he's going to say, "What year is it?" We can hear it right there. What year is it? So looks up, and now let's put another marker right here. Let's actually put it on this one. Mark, so I know it's going to go right about here. I'm going to cut down. We're going to go over to his shot because I want to hear him and see him. So let's find the what year is it, which is right here. So let's look what he does. He sits down, and we're going to be right around in this area. He's sitting there now. So we're going to go cut. Quick, what year is it? Okay. And then we'll cut it right there. V, and we'll scroll down. Okay. So this one is going to probably be the audio we're going to use. That's his audio. We'll move that down to his audio track. I'm taking track 3. I'm going to make it all his audio. This track right here is her audio, and this track right here is all the audio that's just the basic audio. And this may be the audio that we use because it gets both of them. It gets a lot of the action. All right. So I'm going to pull this up, bring it down here, zoom in, and we are going to put it like right here. So we'll pop that up and bring it over. Okay. So we're going to watch it in slow-mo, and it's going to be all distorted, but you'll get the gist. If we scrub quickly, he runs in, she looks up, and it cuts to him, and as he says it. If we listen to it, it'll be a little weird, but we'll get the gist. Okay. And then we have a little bit of leader right here where we can go and put stuff. Now notice, what did I say at the very beginning as we're creating our tracks? I said, we need a minimum of 3 tracks for video. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. I've already used all 3, and we're only 14 seconds into the video. Okay. So, and it is very plausible. You might go, ooh, 3 might not be enough. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, 3 might not be enough. If I want, it's early on, we can go and add a 4th. Okay. So now I know if I want to add another track. So let's say I'm going to bounce back to her. You could stair step things, but because this is a rough cut, we might be climbing up a little bit and then climbing back down. Okay. So let's look at the beginning here. We have the music chime in. Right? She's sitting there. And we may trim some of this. Again, we're not worried about it right now. She's sitting at a table. He sits down. We get the basic edit. It's by no means perfect. Okay, we'll do one more edit before we cruise. Let's go to the medium shot. Here's the medium shot right here. I'm just choosing this haphazardly. We may want to use the medium at a different time. But again, you may think about, hey, let's go from here Instead of going to a close-up of her, you may cut to the medium of her sitting here. Or instead of having, um, you may go from this close-up to the medium, and then he comes in. Or instead of having her look up with the close-up, you may use the medium. Okay, so let's shrink down here. We know that this is it right here. So he's going to say, quick, what year is it? So she goes, what? So maybe you want the pause. We're going to go cut and says, what year? What year is it? Boom. Okay, so we grab that, we highlight it, we shrink down, bring it over. It's mostly her. There may be a change in there. We're going to pop back over. I want to go up to the fourth level right here because we just put that one in there. We'll shrink it down. There it is. We'll zoom in. Okay. So now we can sync it up. So sits down, she looks up. What year is it? And then we wanted to maybe pause on his face for a second and then come over here to hers or to both of them. And she's does it continuity is good. She looks around kind of creeped out. What? What year? What year is it? Okay. So in essence, I've built the first almost 20 seconds of what we're doing right here. Now, to the audio. We wanted to have that stinger right when he sat down, so the stinger's right there. We're going to have this cut in right there, and our stinger right here. We'll double click, and I'm going to do very basic audio editing. We'll go from here, and we want to keep this audio going right here in the background for a minute. So let's bring it out, and we're just going to slide it down. So I just put 2 knots right there. So let's see how it sounds. All right, so okay, so we've done this very basic part. This is essentially what you're going to do for the whole class. So if I come down here, let's jump over to our class. I wanna look at something, make sure I'm not missing anything. I was building this earlier. Let's go to modules. Again, I'm just freestyling like I told you. We're going to come down to the assignment, make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, yep, trim the junk. That's what we're doing. L cuts and J cuts. We actually just did an L cut and we just did a J cut. I didn't point it out, but we did. We're going to organize the timeline. We organized the timeline at the very beginning. Light adjustment on the audio levels. We did that. We put a temporary music bed, and I'm going to export right now. So we are on point. So I'm going to export this small chunk right here so we can watch it at full speed. Seems how there is this flaw that's going on that I cannot find the fix to. We're going to come down to right here. We're going to put O for out, and we're going to export this chunk right here. All right. So file, export, media. Right here, make sure it's set to source in to out. Right there, edit. It's the rough edit, and it'll be 1080p Twitter, which will be just fine. I'll export it, and it'll go quick. There it goes. We're done. Now let's jump over. And that's something that I didn't do. I just completely skipped a step and did not do something that I always do. Where did I save it to? Empty drive one. Okay, I wasn't sure where I saved it to. So let's come over here, grab that. We'll go to empty drive one. Boom. There it is. And there's our rough edit. Let's pop it open and see how it sounds and looks. Again, rough edit. Okay. So it actually came out really good. Yes, you hear a little bit of an echo because those are the multiple layers. I'm not worried about that right now because we're going to go in and select the correct layers that we want to use later on during our audio mix. But right there, we'll play it one more time. It's all 19 seconds of it. It actually has a good feel. There's certain things I would change in it in the next draft, but starting right off the bat, this is a great beginning rough cut. So boom, kind of that nice feel, just doing some homework. Very mellow coffee shop. Yeah. So that actually turned out really good. So even with our big flaws, and I am so sorry, you guys, that this is always so slow. I hope that's not messing you up too bad and you understand what I'm doing. Um, but uh, even with the flaws, we're still able to build our rough edit. So I would keep going with that. We've been going for about 25, 30 minutes with some other things going on, maybe 35 minutes. Um, if I wasn't instructing and I was just working on this, so you guys, I could probably get through this whole thing. We're at about 15 seconds. I could probably get through this whole thing in about 3 hours, 2.5 hours, and have a really good, solid, rough edit. Okay, so that is really it for today. Remember, I'll review real quick. Remember, when you're doing this, oops, we'll go V. There we go. Remember to put your markers in at key points on each one of your clips. So you can pick your different colors. You can go red, orange, yellow, blue, green, purple. You can pick the colors, and then go in and mark them with the advanced markers. So M, and there's your markers. Okay, you can title each one with like the line of dialogue. You can color them any of these colors, and you can do that all the way down. So you can put them up here, you can put them down here. These ones up here would be more like locations that you want to move something to. But if you're going to be marking the clips, mark the clips multiple times. Hey, I like this part, this part, this part, this part. These are key important pieces to the story that we want to make sure that we're working the edit around. Do that to all the pieces, and then you can go in and go, okay, I want to move from this shot, my close up, out to my wide shot, into an extreme close up, or into a medium, or out to an extreme wide, or whatever. So put your markers in so you can mark them, and then start moving through. Go find yourself some audio. I got this from freesound.org. It's a free music and sound effects website. You'll want to utilize that again, freesound.org. It's absolutely free to sign up for, and you can download thousands and thousands and thousands of stuff. It'll ask you for donations, but if you don't want to donate, you don't have to. If you feel like, hey, I'm using a lot of their stuff and I like it, I do want to donate, you can. But they don't charge you to do this, so it's all free at freesound.org. So I went and found two pieces of audio. These may or may not be the pieces of audio that I want to use for my edit, but it could be. It is good for like coffee shop sound, and then it gets intense. And then there's going to be some lightheartedness that happens and some funny jokes. Maybe you put some funny music. So you can get that stuff and put it in there and at least have something in there to help you understand what the audio is going to sound like. Um, and then you just start putting it together. Again, build like I'm building, layer things, take sound and have sound bleed underneath the next clip that you cut to. Okay. Go ahead and go through all that. You'll probably come out at somewhere around a 3 to 4 minute video, approximately. It could be a little more, could be a little less. And then next week, we'll start talking about tightening our edit up and what our next steps are. I hope this was entertaining, and I also hope that it was informative. Um, I know that it can be a bit dry, but at the same time, I want to make sure that you guys are understanding what we're doing. If you are having a hard time and you need some assistance, as always, come over here to the inbox and send me a message. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. All righty, guys. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for tuning in.